How tall are you?
That looks sweet.
Well,
why is it like blue? There you go. It's gotta develop.
right. So it depends. I think they don't make it. Yeah. Excellent. I couldn't get it down. I said, well, I want to find out what it's like. And then I checked with Smith and Gilly, and he's like, are your kids there? And I'm like, no. So I said, okay, fine. Too young. I think it's unfortunate. I think that we simply lost our reason. We tried to move on kids. gone, but when I checked with commission, like I said, killers, and they were like, no, they're not going. Just another night, never go. But I thought I'd check, and then I checked with, so I don't follow. I think that's really because he has to be going to the other well, they really like it. I mean, I think the church lost a lot of people. I mean, honestly, we haven't been going on at all.
I don't think they're open yet, are they?
Well, no, but I
Are you donating blood tomorrow? Yes. I'd like to just get it. Yeah. I'm kind of excited. I'm not sure if that's how. I really think you can blood out I'm not bad. I'm not even tired. I'm excited. Because, like, it hurts a little bit. What time are you going? Okay, I'm 11:40. That's because I really wanted to do it. But she did that. We have assigned seats. Do it with me. Drink a lot of water starting now. Starting now? Protein. It better. I'll probably forget. Oh, they have them out. Yeah, that's exactly me. Oh, they can do right there. I don't know. I'm so excited. And then I don't fall stuff. Yeah, sorry about that. I can leave really what if I'm like all low-key? Especially if you don't. Yeah, I know. So maybe I wonder if you can have granola. Yeah. So you're not. So I can take a test.
I'll say thanks. Oh, yeah, that's last year I remember reading books. You know how my name's like forever long? Like cursive. Everyone's just staring at me. Everyone's like this. I was like, I want to see what my school looks like. Oh, no, I know mine. Because I literally scribbled You have to like hand it over there whenever you go over there. It goes to row by row. So they'll say your name, they'll start, I think right here. I know them to meet right there. Yeah, they sign their name in the book right there. Oh, okay, good luck.
These people right here will be in the picture with me. So that is, I can get right here. Yeah. Over there. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Over there. Like get rid of them, or you could like get like, I don't know what you're trying to do. You just want me to take pictures. Are these the people? Those are pretty good. Those are the officers and stuff. Oh no, so beautiful. I would be freaking out.
Good evening. I'm Michael Black, principal at Miamisburg High School, and I would like to welcome everyone to tonight's National Honor Society induction ceremony. The creation of the National Honor Society was an idea proposed 101 years ago in 1919 by a school principal named Edward Reinerson. He and his colleagues were concerned about the growing emphasis on non-academics in our schools, especially athletics. Out of this concern grew the idea of the National Honor Society. He believed the overemphasis of the non-academics was detrimental to their academic program, which was intended to stimulate leadership and character. So out of that, the first charter membership of the National Honor Society was awarded to Mr. Reinerson's school, the Fifth Avenue High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1921. Our chapter quickly followed in 1923, and at that time inducted our first 6 members. It is interesting to note that the book the students will be signing tonight is the same book that has been signed by Miamisburg High School National Honor Society inductees since 1923. Tonight we will induct 32 outstanding students who still exemplify those high standards set forth back in 1919. I congratulate all of them, and I would like to thank you, the parents, relatives, teachers, and friends who are here tonight for attending and sharing this memorable moment. In addition to honoring our students, this evening we would like to pay tribute to another special group of people. When the students applied for selection, they were asked to name an educator from the Miamisburg School District, in quotes, who has made a difference in your life. The educators named are listed in the program and are here as our guests and will participate in the induction ceremony. The main candle represents the light of knowledge. Therefore, the act of the teacher passing on the lighted candle to the student is symbolic of passing on the light of knowledge from the teacher to the student. President Michael Raj will now begin the actual ceremony.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Miamisburg High School National Honor Society induction ceremony. We also want to give a warm welcome to our superintendent, Dr. Laura Blessing, and Board of Education member, Ann Neese. This evening, we are receiving 32 members into the local chapter of the National Honor Society. The mission to this organization is perhaps the greatest honor that can come to a high school student. It stands for excellence of achievement, not only in one field, but in every field of endeavor. Scholarship alone will not admit a student to the National Honor Society. To scholarship must be added service, leadership, and character. A student may therefore make the highest grades and still not be admitted to the National Honor Society if this student does nothing for the school or community, or if this student shows traits of character that are undesirable. The students who have attained this high standard and who have been chosen by the Faculty Council deserve the highest praise and congratulations for their excellent record. Vice President McKenna Slagenhop will now explain the meaning of the emblem.
Our emblem is the keystone and the flaming torch. The keystone bears at its base the letter S, L, S, and C, which stand for the 4 cardinal principles of NHS: scholarship, leadership, service, and character. As the keystone is placed by the builder to hold a perfect arc and perpetual stability, so the structure of our education must be held firm and true to the purpose of life by the virtues represented in this symbol. What words are more significant than scholarship, leadership, service, and character? The flaming torch is the emblem of our purpose. Secretary Cameron Brooks will explain the meaning of scholarship.
A high standard of scholarship is the first principle of our society.
Scholarship is a goal toward which each person should strive. Knowledge is a great element which leads to the highest success in one's life. Scholarship is a love of learning. A good student will spend as much time as possible in reading and studying, for this student knows the reward of a well-educated mind. Excellence in scholarship reveals not only that one's store of knowledge has been increased, but also that the individual has endeavored to make the most of the opportunities at hand. Knowledge is both necessary and useful. It can be acquired in only one way, and that is through diligence and effort. We should continue to study even when school days are over, for we must remember that education ends only with life. I will now light the candle of scholarship. And Treasurer Cameron Clark will then interpret the meaning of our second principle, leadership.
Leadership is the art of directing others in conduct and achievement. It challenges the virtues of a person's soul. It will show the students goodness, mercy, as well as selflessness and ingenuity. They who have strength of character develop a strong personality, which is the moving force of leadership, embodying beauty, truth, and goodness. These are the qualities of which leaders are made. Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in school and community activities, a real leader should strive to train and aid others to attain the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interest for the interest of others. A leader has the confidence in himself and dares to go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, they are ineffective without the guidance of a wise leader. In order to mold citizens concerned with the advancement of humanity and to create leaders who will strive to maintain the American way of living, the Honor Society recognizes leadership among its members. For what is the worth of a person who will not advance their ideals? A person may be brilliant, noble, and charitable, and thereby may be a good person, but if in addition they are a leader, they are an important person. I will now light the candle of leadership, and then Point Secretary Grace Gilkison will explain the third principle of which her society is based, service.
Service is one of the greatest words in the English language, for it signifies the outward sign of inward sincerity and sympathy. It means more than work. It is the laboring, the striving, even the sacrifices of ourselves for the benefit of others. There is no pleasure in life quite like the feeling of deep satisfaction of having been of service to others. One who serves gives much of himself and gives it willingly, to aid those in need, to help ease the pain of the world, to be a friend of the friendless, are the aims of the unselfish. Selfishness always paralyzes enjoyment. The cure for selfishness is service to others. Today, perhaps more than ever before, the world needs individuals who can rise above the tides of the time and serve mankind unselfishly. Service does not flaunt itself in glowing colors. Its true beauty lies in the simple giving of oneself, one's time, and ability whenever there is a need. Service is the willingness to work without glory and is the cheerful and enthusiastic rendering of any possible help to the community at large. May we all practice this giving of ourselves, the needs of others, and so find true happiness and service. I will now light the candle of service, and Point Secretary Grace Dyer will explain the meaning of the fourth principle of NHS, character.
Character is the force in the one person that distinguishes him from others. Character gives him individuality and personality. It is based upon moral principles and upon a proper sense of values. It leads to confidence, self-resilience, personal honesty, and courage in all contacts and dealings with other people. Character is that without which no person can respect himself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is like an invisible magnet which guides people through life's temptations, and when once developed, it grows steadily to become an unfailing guide. Character is achieved, not received. It is the product of constant action and daily striving to make the right choices. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others by demonstrating such qualities as reliability, honesty, and sincerity, and then we can hope to prove to the world that we are growing in character. I will now light the candle of character. May it lead you toward maintaining good character. We will now read the list of students who are to be inducted into the National Honor Society. We will also name the special teacher mentioned by each student when asked to name an educator who has made a difference in their life. After all names have been read, President Michael Raj will lead the new members in the pledge. Our first inductee is Austin Amberby. Austin helped teach and mentor younger students at basketball and baseball camps, was the varsity baseball player as a sophomore, and has volunteered at the Air Force Marathon for the past 3 years. Austin chose Ms. Vicki Barnes as his special educator. Unfortunately, Ms. Barnes could not be here tonight. Austin said, "Ms. Barnes was a wonderful teacher who I always admired for the fact that she could keep class fun and interesting while still teaching students more than enough to be successful in the next stages of our schooling careers. Even with the challenges that came with teaching, she was able to talk with and make a genuine connection with each and every student. Along with these reasons, she was able to understand the challenges of being a student and was always more than willing to lend a helping hand for any and all questions a student may have had. For these reasons, I chose Ms. Barnes as a teacher who made the most difference in my schooling career." Jocelyn Bailey has been a varsity competition cheerleader for 3 years, is a member of the principal's advisory team, and is the media and tech director for Sizer. Jocelyn selected Ms. Brandy Henry as her special educator. Ever since 7th grade, Ms. Henry has been an important part of Jocelyn's educational and personal journey. She's always been someone Jocelyn can trust and confide in with problems regarding school, cheer, or any other aspect of her life. Ms. Henry has always had Jocelyn's best interests in heart, and even outside of her classroom, she's pushed Jocelyn to do her very best and reach her full potential. Jocelyn is truly grateful to have Ms. Henry in her life, and she can't imagine how different her life would be without having Ms. Henry as her 7th grade ELA teacher. Sabrina Barraclaw is her church's Sunday school leader, a section leader in the marching band, and has been in the Wind Symphony for 3 years. Sabrina chose Ms. Angela Kramer as her special educator. Ms. Kramer was super supportive of Sabrina's achievements and congratulated her on them. It was always easy to answer questions in Ms. Kramer's class because of her kindness, and Ms. Kramer always remembered Sabrina when she came to visit during her little sister's open house. Justin Berry is the quarterback of the football team, has maintained a 4.2 GPA, and taught the next generation of Miamisburg basketball in basketball camp. Justin selected Ms. Jeannie Toadvine as his special educator. Justin said, "Ms. Toadvine has been a big influence in my life, teaching me not just social studies, but how to succeed in life. She taught me how to respect others that I don't agree with or do not get along with. She taught me how to be a responsible student, and she taught me many skills I still use today. I have learned how to go through struggles in my life courtesy of her. She's a very strong individual and has left a tremendous impact on my life." Shelby Bettendorf was a member of the Miamisburg dance team her sophomore year, competes in local beauty pageants, and has been dancing competitively for Germantown Youth for 7 years. Shelby selected Miss Amy Elsas as her special educator. Shelby said, "I chose Miss Elsas because of how kind and understanding she is. She always makes her lessons interesting and interactive. I always look forward to going to my CCP government and career and college readiness classes because of her."
Gillespie has completed 4 years in the marching band and has made it to Bands of America semi-national championships. Carmen has also competed and been a part of 7 different extracurricular activities in the past year. Carmen chose Miss Tracy Watercutter as her special educator. Carmen said that Miss Watercutter always taught her that hard work will take her students farther than natural-born talent, among other morals. Carmen believes that even after years have passed, this message that Miss Watercutter taught her is still so truthful and encouraging. Miss Watercutter would also go over concepts that were difficult and have higher standards than any other teacher, with vocabulary needing to have more than 5 sentences in a paragraph. Carmen also mentioned that although it was demanding, it prepared her to write for all of her subjects as well as social skills outside of her academic surroundings. Something that Carmen will always hold close to her heart is Miss Watercutter's value of hard work, progress, and character above anything else. Hannah Eversole is a 6-year member of South Dayton Dance Theater, which is a pre-professional dance company at the South Dayton School of Dance. Hannah is also class secretary for student government, as well as a student representative of the Youth Council for Normandy United Methodist Church. Hannah's special educator is Mr. Jason Curry. Hannah said that Mr. Curry was the first teacher that she really made a connection with. He always went out of his way to ask her how her day was going and if she was okay. Hannah also mentioned that Mr. Curry's students are his top priority and always makes sure that they have the highest chance to succeed. Hannah said that Mr. Curry cares about making connections with his students and learning more about them, not just teaching them for 1 year and never speaking to them again. Mr. Curry was someone that Hannah could go to when she had no one else to talk to, and is a father figure to her as well as shaped her life for the better. Sammy Freeze participates in AAU basketball and is on the JV basketball team here at Miamisburg, where he is also a captain. Sammy's special educator is Tom Madigan. Sammy said that Mr. Madigan was his math teacher in 7th grade and made coming to school fun. Mr. Madigan was also the best teacher that Sammy had ever had, and he learned the most in that class than any other. Mr. Madigan was someone who Sammy could have conversations or arguments about sports with, such as the 2016 World Series. Graham Gilbertson is a 4-year varsity letterman for the high school soccer team. He has also been involved in student government since he was a freshman. For his senior year, Graham joined the cross-country team and has been a leader there as well. Graham's special educator is Mr. Matt Sunderman. Mr. Sunderman has been coaching Graham for the past 4 years, and through this time, he has learned about the importance of leadership and character. Graham said that Mr. Sunderman at every practicing game would encourage him to be his best and that he could as well push his teammates to the next level. Mr. Sunderman's dedication to his players inspires Graham to work his hardest and do his best for his team. Graham states that Mr. Sunderman's continued interest in his players' lives, even after they've left his team, shows how much he cares and values his players, as well as people too, which motivates Graham to build similar relationships. Finally, Graham says, "Thank you, Mr. Sunderman, for making an impact on my life and allowing me to reach my potential not only as a player, but also as a person." Luke Gillespie is a cross-country and track and field runner. He's also a member of student government and CISER, which is our school's Student in Science and Engineering Roundtable Club. Luke's special educator is Mr. Jeremy Wysocki. Luke said that Mr. Wysocki has been his coach for the past 3 years for both cross-country and track and field. Mr. Wysocki is someone that has supported Luke throughout his running and has helped him to improve aspects of his character.
Aaron Gillespie is a member of the Miamisburg High School baseball team and soccer team. He also participates in student government and is regularly involved with his youth group in church. Aaron's special educator is Chris Fisher. Aaron chose Mr. Fisher for his interest in math, as well as his interest in getting to know his students. Aaron says that Mr. Fisher is passionate about the subject, and it shows every day in the enthusiasm he brings to teaching. He makes an effort to help the students understand the material to better prepare them for future math classes, and his class is designed for you to be able to work through your challenges and succeed in pre-calc. Mr. Fisher is an example of what a math teacher should be. J.D. Gillum is a fourth-year member of the Miamisburg High School Marching Band, where he currently serves as a section leader. He is also a member of the world-class percussion ensemble and volunteered with Miamisburg Winds during the 2020 season. J.D.'s special educator is Ryan Wundersheimer. J.D. chose Mr. Wundersheimer for the years he spent with him in the band. J.D. said that Mr. Wundersheimer has made a difference in his life in multiple ways. First, as a musician, he's helped J.D. achieve the level he's at today through his work within the classroom, as well as through the hours of practice and other activities. Second, as a person, J.D. has learned from Mr. Wundersheimer how to work well with others and to help them succeed just like Mr. Wundersheimer did for him. Addison Harold is currently in her 12th year of cheer. She has served in student government for the past 2 years and currently teaches gymnastics and tumbling at Twigs. Addison's special educator is Jeannie Toadvine. Addison chose Mrs. Toadvine because she took her on her first trip abroad and has since encouraged in her a love of travel and experiencing other cultures. Addison said that Mrs. Toadvine has always inspired kindness above all else. She continuously reminds her that she can achieve anything she chooses to do. Haley Hobb is a nursery teacher at MCC. She has served as team captain for an Explosion Club volleyball team and is an active volunteer at Threads of Miami Valley. Haley's special educator is Allison Timko. Haley chose Mrs. Timko because Mrs. Timko has served as her volleyball coach for 3 years. Haley says that Mrs. Timko has been a huge influence for her. She has improved her both as a player and as a person. Olivia Howard is a trombone section leader within the Miamisburg High School Marching Band. She is also first chair in the Wind Symphony and volunteers in 7th grade classrooms. Olivia's special educator is Brandy Henry. Olivia chose Mrs. Henry for the monumental impact she had on her in 3rd grade. Olivia said that Mrs. Henry has inspired in her a love of reading, writing, and expressing herself creatively from a young age. She has helped her feel seen as a student and as a person while also helping her develop her educational skills. Mrs. Henry has been a teacher that Olivia has admired since she had her in class, and she doesn't think that she'd be the same student she is today without her.
Allie Hubler is a member of the Miamisburg High School swim team and Miamisburg High School tennis team. She is also actively involved in theater in the community, while also serving as a summer assistant swim coach for Miamisburg Barracudas. Allie chose Mrs. Karen Furl as her special educator. Mrs. Furl has served as a constant mentor for Allie throughout sports, schooling, and extracurriculars. Despite the fact that Mrs. Furl had Allie as a 7th grade student, Allie says that she has continued to be a positive impact in her life. Brooke Houston is a children's ministry volunteer at her local church and has been volunteering there since childhood. She is also a 3-year member of the marching band. Brooke chose Mrs. Megan Wire as her special educator. Brooke chose Mrs. Wire because she was always kind and helpful in the classroom. Mrs. Wire has been a source of advice for Brooke throughout high school and has been a source of many conversations about common interests. Mackenzie Johnson is a varsity volleyball player and track runner who anticipates being a 4-year letterman in both sports by the time she graduates. She is also on a club volleyball team that finished 4th in the nation. Mackenzie was team captain for volleyball her sophomore and junior year and currently holds 8 records for the school. Mackenzie selected Mrs. Jennifer Harold as her special educator. Mackenzie said, "The way Mrs. Harold had her classes and helped each student learn, got me into the STEM fields, and I now want to major in one because of my early love for it. Mrs. Harold was her teacher for multiple years and has also provided support to Mackenzie in other areas of life. Lily Kazee is our next inductee. Unfortunately, Lily is unable to be with us in person tonight. However, we will still be recognizing her for this accomplishment. Lily is a member of the Miamisburg High School and Cincy class of 12 adults. She is also a member of the How to Life Baking team and a weekly nursery volunteer at Miamisburg Christian Church. Lily selected Mrs. Bryn Smith as her special educator. Lily chose Mrs. Smith because she has driven her to become a better student and person. Mrs. Smith never fails to make her laugh and has had a significant impact over the 3 years she has had Lily as a student. Joseph A. Lipscomb is a 2-year member of the Miamisburg Marching Band, 1-year member of the Miamisburg soccer team, and an active volunteer in his church family. Joseph selected Mrs. Brandy Henry as his special educator. Joseph selected Mrs. Henry as she influenced him to be more interested in school and showed him that school can be fun. Mrs. Henry also taught Joseph studying strategies that have helped him prepare for the future. Joseph said, "She was like a mother at school, always treated her students like her own, and made some of my worst days some of my best." Sophie Lockwood is a 3-year member of the Wind Symphony and has been the first chair clarinet player for 2 years. She is also the art director at Harmony Creek Vacation Bible School. Sophie chose Mrs. Kendra Windland as her special educator. Ms. Windland has taught Sophie to come out of her shell and thrive as a performer, as well as teach her the skills she needed to improve as a member of the marching band.
Luke Myers is a starter on the varsity football team and has been for the last 2 years. He also plays 2 other sports in high school and is an active member of his church. Luke chose Mrs. Jeannie Tovine as his special educator. Luke says that Mrs. Tovine taught him so much about compassion and caring for others. She cares so much about other people and shows this through programs like Bridges. Luke says that he's a better person today because of all the valuable lessons Mrs. Tovine has taught him. Sahel Alvor is a member of the basketball team, does track and field, and also plays drums for his church. Sahel chose Mrs. Jeannie Turbine as his special educator as well. Sahel says that she teaches all of her students how to be good people. Education is important to her, but nothing is more important than being a good person. He says, "She always believed in my abilities and pushed me to be a better person every day. I'll never forget all the things she did for me, and I'll always do my best to be the person she knows I can be." Amber Price is a Joette and assistant dance teacher at Vicky Joe Dance Studio and is vice president of Muse Machine. Amber chose Mr. Michael Valentino as her special educator. She says that although his class was challenging, Mr. Valentino has given her a huge love for the Spanish language and culture and has inspired her to pursue her passions despite how difficult it may be. Amber feels she can go to him for anything and has many great memories from his class. Sophie Riggs is a multi-sport athlete as she plays tennis and runs track for the high school and was captain of the JV soccer team sophomore year. Sophie chose Miss Kathleen Magea as her special educator. Sophie says that in past years, math had always been her least favorite subject and something she had always dreaded. However, Miss Magea always made sure that she understood the content and her class became one that she really enjoyed, while also allowing her to develop a different approach to math. Sophie loves that Ms. McGarrett truly cares about each of her students and is so dedicated to her job. Demi Rose competes as a varsity athlete for the volleyball, swim, dive, and track teams while also being a part of the How to Life dating team and is a member of the Miamisburg High School Hope Squad. Demi chose Miss Lori Curry as her special educator, who unfortunately can't be here tonight. But Demi had Miss Curry as her sophomore English teacher and instantly felt connected to her since she made her classroom feel so welcoming from day one, allowing the class to feel like a family and something she looked forward to every day.
Christy Shin is a part of the Principal's Advisory, Student Government, and is also a youth leader at Agape Korean Church. Christy chose Mr. Jason Curry as her special educator. Christy said, "Mr. Curry has always had faith in my abilities and motivated me to strive to do better in everything that I do. I know that I can come to him whenever I need advice or support. He understands me like no other teacher has tried to before." Shaylin Shoemaker is a 2-year academic team member, 4-year band member, and has been a part of 4-H for 6 years. Shaylin chose Mrs. Hidley Hartley as her special educator. Shaylin said, "Mrs. Hartley supported me through 8th grade and helped me build confidence in my singing and music abilities, as well as my self-confidence in general." Kritik Tella is a varsity tennis player, the treasurer of Sizer, and a volunteer at the Atrium Medical Center. Kritik chose Mr. Jared Levin as a special educator. Mr. Levin was Kritik's biology teacher for the past 2 years. Thanks to him, Kritik was not only able to find a subject that he's truly passionate about, but also able to gain an understanding of the subject unlike any other. Kritik said, "His classes provided me with the perfect amount of challenge and helped to overcome those challenges while also developing an actual passion for the material we were learning. For the first time, I felt like I was learning something for more than just to pass a test." Also, Mr. Levin guided me through the transition to harder college level courses as his classes, especially AP Biology, allowed me to develop new learning habits that significantly changed who I am as a person and a student. Rowan Thompson is a drum major for the Miamisburg Marching Band, a member of St. James United Methodist Church's youth group, and regularly volunteers at many events around Miamisburg. Rowan chose Mrs. Amy Elsas as her special educator. Mrs. Elsas has always made Rowan feel like an equal when they had conversations, and has taught her to have a love for government. Rowan said, "She makes her classes enjoyable, even when I've had the worst day imaginable. Her teaching methods are effective, and they're also fun, and so is she." Chloe Willman is a varsity cheerleader for sideline football and basketball, and the competition team. A part of the Media Arts Tech Prep program and regularly volunteers at her church's youth program. Chloe chose Mrs. Rochon as her special educator. Mrs. Rochon was Chloe's sophomore year French teacher, her academic period teacher, in her freshman through junior years, and one of the most charismatic people she has ever met. Chloe said, "She has a complete love for the French language, and it showed while she taught every single day. She wanted us all to succeed and make us feel included and cared about. She made learning fun, and I can confidently say that everyone in my class felt the same way. She is one of those teachers that feel more like a mother than a teacher, who you can go to for help in class and in life. I don't know if I could have successfully made it this far without her. I am thankful to know someone as kind, compassionate, and full of energy as Mrs. Rochon." Molly Witterman is a marching band drum major, a level 9 competitive gymnast, and 2-time all-around OHSAA state qualifier. Molly chose Mr. John Good as her special educator. Molly said, "Mr. Good has been there for me through everything and taught me so much, not just in gymnastics, but in life. I look forward to seeing him at practice and getting to learn from him. He truly has made a difference in my life by being someone I can look up to and encouraging me through every mental block, competition nerves, and being the little freshman at state. I couldn't ask for a better role model." You have heard the ideals, fundamental principles, and precepts on which National Honor Society was founded. If you believe in these ideals and are willing to uphold them, please stand, raise your hand, and repeat after me. I pledge myself to uphold the high ideals of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected, striving in every way, by word and deed, to make its ideals the ideals of my school and of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the new members of the Miamisburg High School chapter of the National Honor Society. We would like to thank everyone for coming tonight and invite everyone to join us for refreshments, which are on the table to your right. Thank you all.